We have John Cena going heel, a possible Bianca heel turn, Trump as president, Casey Anthony on TikTok. Is the world ending, Jesus? You guys, I have a very fun video today. We are going to focus on who hurt Jade, the Bianca, Jade, and Naomi story, the big three. No, there needs to be something said about trio friendships. They like never last for some reason. Like, this is scientifically proven, like research and psychology wise, three trio, friendships don't work out for some reason. Like, they just don't ever, 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 ever. And if you think so, point me to one of them that has lasted. Okay. Point me to one. I feel like what tends to happen is like two of the people in the friend group get like really close, and then the other one kind of like feels left out and they get like pushed out type of thing. But anyways, you guys, who attacked Jade? Let's get to the bottom of this. Are we going to see a Bianca heel turn? Personally, I think we are, but I'm going to provide evidence for every single option or thing that could possibly happen, which I know Triple H loves when we try to predict these things, but I'm going to do my best anyway. I also have one wild card prediction at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around to see that. Let's start with Naomi. Is Naomi innocent? Okay, let's pretend Naomi is innocent. Yes, we know that she got attacked at Elimination Chamber by Jade, but I'm going to go into some details on why I think that might have happened if Naomi was innocent. Okay, we have some great detectives. Okay, and if I can find their usernames, I'm going to post them here because I did see some of these predictions on TikTok and Twitter, and I want to make sure to give them credit. Naomi looked very confused at Elimination Chamber, right? When Jade attacks Naomi, we see this look of like pure confusion on her face. Like, why is this happening? Like, she genuinely believes, right, that Liv Morgan was the culprit here. And so when she turns to attack her, I think Naomi just seems taken aback. Like, she didn't even fight back. She crawled away from her. She seemed very confused and didn't understand why she was getting attacked. So that's part of the reason why some people believe that Naomi is innocent. She also has no previous history with Jade. They never got into any arguments. They never bickered. They never had any problems, really. Even when Naomi was feuding with Bailey, she had so many options to turn on Bailey, and she never took any of those options. She always played fair. So it would be like a huge character shift for her to suddenly turn bad and attack Jade out of nowhere. If Naomi was innocent and she was attacked by Jade, another theory is that Jade could be confused or Naomi is somehow getting framed by someone else. We can stand to say that Jade was pretty injured, right? The last time we saw her. So what if she had some sort of memory loss or some sort of confusion around the events about who actually attacked her? She was out for a very long time, so they could definitely play up on her like memory loss issue or anything with a traumatic brain injury or something like this. With that said, there's a lot of issues around if Naomi is innocent. So let's look at what if Naomi was guilty. Throughout this process of trying to figure out who attacked Jade, let's assume Naomi is guilty with the help of Bianca. It could be said that throughout the process of trying to figure out who attacked Jade, Naomi's just seemed very disinterested. They didn't make any efforts really to figure that out. We didn't see them calling or being on the phone, trying to get in contact. Nothing. Zip, nada. Most of the time, it seemed like Naomi and Bianca were on the same page in terms of their communication, their body language, the eye contact. So if they were both guilty, it makes sense that they are on the same page because they have to get their story straight, right? So I see them kind of working together if Naomi and Bianca were both guilty. Naomi could be guilty because she was put on the back burner. Some people like to say, oh, well, she didn't get a lot of attention or she got in and everyone else is giving Jade attention and Naomi just got back and she was kind of put to the side. And so some people could see that as, oh, well, that would be a reason for her to turn or for her to participate in attacking Jade. But what if Naomi was guilty without the help of Bianca? And so I personally just can't see Naomi being guilty alone. One, because when Jade first made her appearance, it was WWE's mission, their entire life's goal, to make Jade appear like this superhuman person that is unstoppable, indestructible, and she's one of the strongest wrestlers on the roster. And although I do see Naomi as strong, I don't think they had built Naomi up to that level to where she could take on Jade by herself. And the other person I could see kind of helping with that is Bayley. Bayley and Naomi are a lot closer. I feel like their friendship is tighter. Maybe they got jealous of Jade and Bianca's friendship and their tight-knit closeness that they had and their success that they were reaching in the tag division. It's possible Naomi could have snuck up on Jade because they already have that friendship, sort of, or that acquaintance. I could see Jade trusting Naomi to be around her, turn her back on her, and boom, you are over the bridge or whatever that thing was, the railing, the ramp. Now let's talk about Bianca. What if Bianca was innocent? Okay, let's pretend Bianca is innocent for this, video. The purpose of this theorizing, okay? Bianca had a tournament at the time of the attack, or at least close enough to the attack. So it could be argued that she was busy at the time that Jade was attacked. Bianca does seem to have some interest in figuring out who it was, but there's actually no effort. So that's kind of falling into the more guilty side. And simply put, there's just not enough evidence to kind of tie her to it, other than the fact of her, future efforts to figure out who attacked Jade. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. It's not looking good for the Bianca is completely innocent route. I'm just gonna say that. But what I will say is that her character has always been one of grit and honesty and reliability, dependability. She usually has such a strong confidence in herself to where she doesn't see other people as competition. But we also haven't met someone like Jade or seen someone who is of her stature, So it's possible that she started to see her as competition. But if Bianca is innocent, then she would stick to those characteristics that she's always built up to be. She's the hero. She's the wrestler that children look up to, So it's hard to kind of see that shift. Now, what if Bianca was guilty with Naomi, okay? In the assumption she's working with Naomi. There's something that I can never forget, and it's funny because I pointed this out, and when they replayed the scene back on the very next Raw or a SmackDown, they took the scene out. But during the ambulance scene, when she's freaking out over Jade, she says something very important. She says, "It's me."
It's my partner. It's me.
And I don't know if she just blurted that out or she struggled or she struggles to lie. Because if you notice, even in the press conference that she did afterwards, they didn't even put her in the press conference, right? They had her talk to very well-trained inside folk, like I think it was Jackie Redmond, that asked very specific questions because they don't want the press, they don't want us to question Bianca yet. One, because I feel like they don't know where they're going to take the story. But two, I think it's because Bianca struggles to lie. If you notice, she kind of laughs or she smirks or she has a hard time like getting into that like more manipulative character, I think. The press conference tip I actually got from a creator on TikTok. So I'm going to find that video and I'm going to tag her little thing in there so you guys can go watch that video. They fully convinced me that Bianca is not innocent. Overall, during this process though, Bianca has lacked so much effort in actually identifying who did it. The only time we really see her and Naomi being more passionate about it is when they had video footage, right? And there were so many problems with that scene in the first place, but there was video footage of Liv and Raquel being in the vicinity of the arena at the time of the attack. We see them go to Raw and attack them as a team and being on the same page, right? And so we kind of can assume that now that everyone else knows what's going on, they know that they have to take action here. So a lot of people speculate that during that scene of them watching the clip back, they had very odd body language. They looked very suspicious. They looked frightened. And so some people think they were worried that they would be exposed or that their secret would come out, right? So there's also that. Overall, anytime Bianca is asked about the Jade conflict, or even with Naomi now, after Elimination Chamber, she gets very nervous, worked up, and dismissive, avoidant of answering the question or figuring out, who actually did these things. Now, what if Bianca is a mastermind? She's guilty, but without the help of Naomi. Again, like I said, at Elimination Chamber, Naomi seemed so confused. She seemed confused that Jade attacked her and genuinely hurt. Like she didn't understand why that happened. She doesn't even take a defensive stance or even gets ready to prepare to face Jade. And some people are like, well, yeah, they're doing that because they don't want to give it away or they wanted to like kind of prolong that moment. But in my mind, I'm like, well, if that's the case, then they wouldn't have shown Naomi. They would have just showed Liv or protected Naomi and didn't let us see. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, in that clip, if you see Bianca, she is getting in a defensive stance. She's taking off her jacket and she's getting ready to fight. It looks like she's getting prepared to be confronted. We also have the clip that just came from last night's Raw of Bianca being on the phone with Montez. I have to mention this. This is like one of the key factors here that kind of like put me over the edge today. I'm like, oh, you guys are right. But she was on the phone with Montez, who has turned heel. She says something along the lines of wanting to celebrate together and that things worked out. Again, there's more interest in talking about her celebrations and the things that are going right for her rather than the focus of her teammates and the people that have been hurt, the people that she is no longer in connections with. Also in that interview, she says that she has not talked to the girls. And again, that is suspicious because it's like, those are your best friends. Why haven't you been able to talk to them by now? But why, you guys? Why would Bianca do this to her friends? Some people suggest that she was tired of the tag division, she wanted to go back to the singles, or that she saw Jade as competition, and so she wanted to get rid of her. It is true that Jade and Bianca were constantly compared to each other. And honestly, since Jade has stepped on the scene, okay, they were compared. Royal Rumble 2024. Yes. They had that face off in the middle of the ring and everyone cheered. Everyone wanted to see that match. Everyone wants to see them because they are the top girls, the top competitors. And anytime you have two people that are extremely talented, you want to see them face each other. Bianca is always the EST, right? She is the best, the strongest, the toughest, the fastest. And with Jade being on the scene, that's being put in question now because obviously Jade is a human superhero. She is like the most built, toned person in the world. And so now Bianca has met her match type of thing. Personally, if you ask me, it is looking like Bianca is more of the guilty one. And I feel like she's going to have a lot of consequences for this if she was part of it in any way. Naomi, the one that we all thought was so guilty and like so obviously guilty, to me, honestly, is kind of like up in the air at this point. Yes, she could be guilty because Jade attacked her, but what if Jade is confused, or what if she was framed? Now for the wild card, you guys, someone said this on Twitter to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. All right, so the wild card is here. What if Jade is the villain? What if she's making this up? What if she saw Bianca as competition and saw a way to make it look like Bianca was bad or like a villain all of a sudden? What if she's the one that kind of set this up and pretended like she was injured when she wasn't? It could be said that Jade and Bianca's, when it comes to their ego and pride, they're kind of, head to head there. Jade has a lot of pride. Bianca has a lot of pride. Maybe they are being manipulative towards each other and trying to compete with one another. And Jade saw this as a way to make the audience or make people see Bianca as less favorable. I will say that one's kind of out there, but it is a unique take. It is something completely different. So those are all of the options here, you guys. Tell me what you think. What do you think is going on? Who do you think is guilty? And who attacked Jade? Thank you for watching. Jazz out.